I can't marry you. You're too old.
You have no choice, little bride.
Tears streamed down Sophia Ade's face as the wedding march began. 18 years old, and she was walking toward a man who could end her life with a phone call. Kang Min-ho stood at the altar in a black suit that screamed power and danger. 40 years old, Mafia king of Seoul. And now her husband. She'd begged, screamed, refused. None of it mattered. Her uncle's debt demanded payment, and she was the currency. But when Min-ho's hand caught her wrist as she stumbled on the steps, when his thumb brushed away her tears with unexpected gentleness, when his voice dropped to a whisper only she could hear, something impossible stirred in her chest. Something that felt dangerously like hope. Welcome to K Fairy Tales Stories, besties. Please like, share, and subscribe. 3 weeks earlier, Sophia's life had been ordinary. She worked mornings at her uncle's restaurant in Itaewon, studied for university entrance exams in the afternoons, dreamed of becoming a nurse. Her world was small but safe. Then everything shattered. Her uncle came home one night, face bruised, hands shaking. He sat at the kitchen table and told them the truth. He'd borrowed money from the wrong people, $2 million he couldn't repay. The Kang family didn't forgive debts. Sophia's aunt cried. Her uncle apologized over and over. Sophia felt numb. This couldn't be real. Things like this didn't happen to people like them. But 2 days later, reality walked through their door. Kang Min-ho arrived at noon. 3 men in black suits flanked him. He moved with predatory grace. His face was all sharp angles and cold beauty. Scars marked his knuckles. His eyes swept their small apartment with clinical precision. Your debt is overdue. Min-ho's voice was deep and controlled. I'm here to collect. Her uncle dropped to his knees. Please, 1 more month. I'm working extra shifts. I'll get the money. You've had 6 months. Min-ho didn't raise his voice. Didn't need to. The threat was in his stillness, in the way his men positioned themselves at exits. Your time is up. What happens now? Sophia found her voice. Her uncle looked at her with horror. Stay quiet. This doesn't concern you. But Min-ho's attention shifted, locked onto Sophia like a laser. She felt it physically, a weight pressing down on her chest. Who is she? My niece. Her uncle's voice shook. She has nothing to do with this. Please leave her out of it. Min-ho approached. Sophia forced herself not to step back. He studied her face with unsettling intensity. How old? 18. Just graduated high school last month. Something flickered in Min-ho's eyes. Calculation. Interest. Something darker. He circled her slowly. Sophia's skin crawled, but she held still, held his gaze when he came back around. She wouldn't give him the satisfaction of seeing her fear. You're brave. Min-ho stopped in front of her. Or stupid. I haven't decided which. What do you want? Sophia demanded. Her uncle made a sound of protest, but she ignored him. You came here for something. What is it? Your uncle owes me $2 million. Min-ho's voice was conversational. Casual, like they were discussing the weather. He can't pay, so I'm here to take payment another way. Her stomach dropped. What other way? You. The word hung in the air like a bomb. Sophia's ears rang. Her aunt started crying harder. Her uncle was shouting something, but it sounded far away. All Sophia could hear was her own heartbeat. All she could see was Min-ho's face. Calm, certain, absolute. You can't be serious. Her voice came out steadier than she felt. I'm completely serious. Min-ho pulled out a document, placed it on their coffee table. A contract, marriage in exchange for debt forgiveness. Your uncle lives. His business stays intact. And you become my wife. I'm not property. You can't just buy me like I'm a car. I'm not buying you. He sat on their couch, made himself comfortable in their home like he owned it, which he basically did. I'm making a business arrangement. Your hand in marriage for your family's safety. It's a fair trade. There's nothing fair about this. Sophia grabbed the contract. The words swam before her eyes. Marriage, immediate, binding, no escape clause. This is insane. You can't force someone to marry you. I can do whatever I want. Min-ho's voice went cold. That's what power means. But I'm giving you a choice. Sign the contract. Marry me, save your family, or refuse. Watch your uncle die. Watch this restaurant burn. Watch everything you love disappear. Then spend the rest of your short life knowing you could have prevented it. The cruelty of it stole her breath. You're a monster. Perhaps, But I'm a monster offering you a deal. Most people don't get that courtesy. Minho stood. You have 24 hours to decide. After that, the offer expires and I collect my debt in blood. He walked to the door, paused. For what it's worth, I'll treat you well. You'll want for nothing, live in comfort, have everything money can buy. Except freedom, Sophia said bitterly. Except that, freedom is overrated. Minho's smile was sharp. Security is far more valuable. Think about it. He left. His men followed. The apartment fell into chaos. Her aunt was hysterical. Her uncle kept apologizing. Sophia stood frozen, holding a contract that would sign away her entire life. That night she couldn't sleep. She researched Kang Min-ho online, found articles about his business empire, restaurants, real estate, import-export, all legitimate on paper. But the rumors were darker. Connections to organized crime, whispers about violence. People who crossed him disappeared, and this man wanted to marry her. A girl who still had her high school textbooks on her shelf, who'd never even had a serious boyfriend, who was supposed to start university in 3 months. The unfairness of it burned. But the alternative was worse. Her uncle would die. She knew this with certainty. Men like Min-ho didn't make empty threats. So what choice did she really have? The next morning, Sophia made her decision. She found her uncle in the restaurant kitchen. He looked like he'd aged 10 years overnight. I'll do it, she said. I'll marry him. No, her uncle grabbed her hands. Absolutely not. You're 18. You have your whole life ahead of you. I can't let you sacrifice yourself for my mistakes. You don't have a choice. Neither of us do. Her voice was hollow. If I don't do this, you die. Maybe Aunt too. Maybe me. At least this way everyone lives. But at what cost? Her uncle's eyes filled with tears. You'll be trapped with a dangerous man. He'll own you. Maybe. Sophia tried to smile. Failed. But maybe I can survive it. Maybe it won't be as bad as we think. They both knew she was lying. At noon, Min-ho returned. Sophia met him at the door, contract in hand. I'll do it, she said without preamble. I'll marry you, but I have conditions. Min-ho raised an eyebrow. You're negotiating? I'm not powerless. She lifted her chin. If I'm going to be your wife, I want certain things guaranteed. Interesting. He gestured for her to continue. I want my aunt and uncle completely protected, not just from you, but from anyone else they might owe. I want their debt erased from all records. I want this restaurant to stay in their name, free and clear. Min-ho considered this. Agreed. What else? I want to finish university, part-time if necessary, but I'm not giving up my education. Also agreed. You're smarter than I expected. And one more thing. Sophia met his eyes. I want your word that you won't force me into anything. I'll marry you. I'll live in your house. I'll play the role. But my body is mine until I choose otherwise. The silence stretched. Min-ho's expression was unreadable. Finally, he nodded. You have my word. I don't force women. I don't need to. The arrogance of that statement should have angered her. Instead, it sent a shiver down her spine. Then we have a deal. She signed the contract with shaking hands. Min-ho signed below her, pulled out his phone, made a call in rapid Korean. When he hung up, he smiled. It's done. Your uncle's debt is forgiven. All records destroyed. You're free to continue as normal. Until the wedding. When? Sophia asked. 3 days. I've already made arrangements. The ceremony will be small, private, just my associates and your immediate family. Then you move into my home and your new life begins. 3 days wasn't enough time to prepare. Wasn't enough time to say goodbye to everything she'd known. But Sophia nodded. She'd made her choice. Now she had to live with it. The next 3 days passed in a blur of surreal preparation. Min-ho sent people. A woman arrived with wedding dresses for Sophia to choose from. Each one cost more than her family made in a year. She picked the simplest. White silk, elegant but not flashy. The woman nodded approval. Good choice. You have taste. That will serve you well in your new life. What's that supposed to mean? Sophia asked. The woman's smile was thin. Kang Min-ho's world is full of beautiful things. You'll need to match them. Another woman came to teach Sophia basic etiquette, how to address Min-ho's associates, what topics to avoid, how to stand, sit, smile at appropriate times. It felt like training for a performance, which she supposed it was. You'll be on display constantly, the woman said. Everyone will watch you, judge you. measure you against every woman Minho has been with before. So be perfect, be beautiful, be exactly what he wants you to be. What does he want me to be? Sophia demanded. The woman studied her. I don't know. That's what makes you interesting. He's never married before, never even kept a girlfriend long, but he chose you, an 18-year-old girl with nothing special about her except… She trailed off. Except what? Except maybe that's exactly what he wants. Someone uncorrupted by his world, someone clean, fresh, someone he can shape. The thought made Sophia sick. That night, Minho called. She'd given him her number as part of the arrangement. His voice filled her ear, deep, controlled. Are you prepared for tomorrow? As prepared as I can be for marrying a stranger. She couldn't hide the bitterness. You're not wrong to be angry. His response surprised her. This situation isn't fair to you. I'm aware of that. Then why do it? Why force this? Because I want you. The honesty in his voice made her breath catch. From the moment I saw you in that apartment, something shifted. I can't explain it. Don't want to explain it. But I need you near me. Need to know you're mine. That's not love. That's obsession. Maybe. He didn't deny it. But obsession keeps you alive in my world. Love gets you killed. That's a sad way to live. Perhaps. But it's the only way I know. The call ended shortly after. Sophia lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Tomorrow she'd become Mrs. Kang Minho, wife to a man she didn't know, didn't understand, didn't choose. The tears came then, hot and angry. She cried for the life she was losing, the dreams dying, the freedom she'd never have. But she also cried because some small, traitorous part of her was curious, wanted to know what it would be like to be chosen by someone that powerful, to matter that much to someone that dangerous. The wedding day arrived with cruel sunshine. Sophia's aunt helped her dress. Neither spoke. What was there to say? The dress fit perfectly, white silk that made her dark skin glow. Her natural hair was styled in elegant twists. Makeup made her look older, more sophisticated. She barely recognized herself in the mirror. You're beautiful, her aunt whispered. He doesn't deserve you. I know, Sophia touched the reflection. But this is happening anyway. The ceremony was at a private venue, expensive, exclusive, the kind of place Sophia had only seen in magazines. Minho's associates filled the seats, hard men in expensive suits, their women dripping in diamonds. Everyone watched Sophia with calculating eyes, measuring her, judging her, finding her wanting. Her uncle walked her down the aisle. His hand shook on her arm. I'm so sorry. He kept whispering, I'm so sorry, baby girl. It's okay. She lied. Everything will be okay. Then she saw Minho at the altar. He wore a black suit that emphasized his powerful frame. His expression was unreadable, but when Sophia started down the aisle, his eyes locked on hers, and she saw something there. Hunger, possession, something that made her stumble on the third step. His hand shot out, caught her elbow, steadied her. Easy. His voice was low enough only she could hear. I've got you. That's what I'm afraid of, she whispered back. He almost smiled. Almost. The ceremony was in Korean. Sophia understood maybe half, but the meaning was clear. She was being bound to this man, legally, permanently. When the officiant asked if she consented, her throat closed. The venue went silent. Everyone waited. Minho's hand tightened fractionally on hers. Not forcing, just reminding her what was at stake. Her family, their safety, everything. I do. The words tasted like ashes. Minho's response was immediate. Firm, absolute. The officiant pronounced them married. Minho pulled her close. His kiss was gentle, almost tender, but his hand on her waist was possessive, claiming her in front of everyone. When they broke apart, Sophia's knees shook. The reception was at Minho's penthouse. Sophia got her first look at her new home. It was massive. 75th floor, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Seoul, art worth millions, furniture that belonged in museums. Everything screamed wealth and power and danger. Welcome home. Minho's hand found the small of her back. Our home now. This isn't a home. Sophia looked around. It's a showroom. Then make it a home. His eyes challenged her. You live here now. Change whatever you want. That's not what I meant. I know what you meant. Minho guided her through rooms. But you'll learn. A house becomes a home when the right person lives in it. And you're the right person. The reception was torture. Sophia stood beside Min-ho, smiled when required, accepted congratulations from people who looked at her like she was a curiosity, an oddity, a mistake Min-ho would tire of soon. One woman, beautiful and cold, approached. "So you're the one." Her English was perfect. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. "I'm Lee Yuna, Min-ho's." She paused. "Former associate. Nice to meet you," Sophia managed, though it clearly wasn't. "You're very young." Yuna's eyes swept over her. "What are you, 20? 18? Sophia lifted her chin. "Just graduated high school." The woman's eyebrows rose. "How?" "Traditional. I'm sure you'll be very happy." Her tone said the opposite. Then she walked away, leaving Sophia feeling small and exposed. "Don't let her get to you." Min-ho appeared at her side. "Yuna is bitter because I ended our arrangement." "What arrangement?" "Business." His hand found her waist again. She wanted more. "I didn't." Simple. "Was she your girlfriend?" "No. I don't do girlfriends." He looked down at Sophia. "I do business arrangements, alliances, temporary partnerships, but never anything permanent. Until now. Why me?" The question burst out. "Why marry me specifically? You could have any woman in Seoul. Why force an 18-year-old into this?" "Because those other women want my money, my power, my connections." Min-ho's voice dropped. "You want nothing from me except to escape." That honesty is refreshing and rare. "That's a terrible reason to marry someone." "Maybe, but it's my reason." He pulled her closer as music started. "Dance with me?" "I don't know how." "Then learn." His hand splayed across her back. "Follow my lead." They moved across the floor. Sophia was stiff at first, hyper-aware of his body against hers, his strength, his control. But gradually she relaxed. Let him guide her. It wasn't unpleasant. That realization disturbed her. "You're a good dancer," she said to fill the silence. "I've had practice." His breath was warm against her ear. "Entertaining clients, maintaining appearances. You'll learn these things too. I'm not interested in your business." "You will be." Min-ho's hand moved to her hip. "You're my wife now. That means you're part of everything. My world, my work, my life, whether you want to be or not." The possessiveness should have terrified her. Instead, it sent heat through her veins. Sophia hated her body's betrayal, hated how her pulse quickened when he touched her, how her breath caught when he looked at her with those dark, intense eyes. The reception finally ended near midnight. Guests filtered out. Soon it was just them, alone in the massive penthouse. The weight of what came next pressed down on Sophia. This was her wedding night. Min-ho poured whiskey, offered her a glass. She took it, drank too fast. The burn helped center her. "You don't need to be afraid," he said quietly. "I meant what I promised. I won't force you." "Then what happens now?" "We sleep. Tomorrow we start figuring out how to live together." He finished his drink. "Come, I'll show you the bedroom." The master bedroom was enormous. King-sized bed, luxury furnishings, a bathroom bigger than Sophia's old bedroom. Everything in blacks and grays, masculine, cold. "Your clothes are in the closet," Min-ho gestured. "I had my people stock it based on your measurements. Feel free to change anything you don't like. This is your space now, too." Sophia opened the closet. It was full, designer labels, everything in her size. It felt wrong, like wearing a costume. In the bathroom, she found silk pajamas waiting. She changed quickly, trying not to think about how Min-ho had planned every detail, controlled every aspect. When she emerged, he was already in bed, shirtless. Sophia's breath caught. His body was all lean muscle and scars, evidence of a violent life. He pulled back the covers on the other side. She slid in, kept as much distance as possible. The bed was big enough they didn't have to touch. Min-ho turned off the lights. "Good night, wife." His voice came through the darkness. "Sleep well." Sophia lay rigid, every nerve on fire. But he didn't touch her, didn't move toward her side, just lay there breathing steadily. Eventually, exhaustion claimed her. She slept fitfully, woke several times. Each time, Min-ho was exactly where he'd been, giving her space, keeping his word. Morning came with sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows. Min-ho was gone. A note on his pillow. "Had to handle business. Stay in the penthouse today. My driver will take you anywhere you need tomorrow. We'll have dinner tonight at 7. Don't be late." The order rankled. But Sophia used the day to explore her new prison. The penthouse had everything: gym, library, office, multiple bedrooms, a kitchen that could serve a restaurant. Everything except freedom. She found Minho's office unlocked. Inside were files, computer, wall of monitors showing security feeds. She shouldn't look, knew it was wrong. But curiosity won. She opened a file cabinet, found folders organized by name, including one with hers. Inside was everything: her school records, medical history, social media screenshots, background checks on her family. He'd researched her thoroughly, known everything before he ever walked into their apartment. The violation made her sick, but what made it worse was the handwritten note at the bottom, in Korean. She translated slowly. "This girl, she's different. I need her." The words made her stomach flip. Need, not want, need. Like she was essential, like he couldn't function without her. The obsession was deeper than she'd realized, and somehow that was more terrifying than simple desire. At 7, Minho returned, found Sophia in the living room. She'd changed into one of the dresses from the closet, black and simple, sophisticated. "You look beautiful." His eyes swept over her appreciatively. "How was your day?" I explored. "Found your office." Her voice was sharp. "Found the file you have on me." His expression didn't change. "Of course you did." I left it unlocked deliberately. "Why?" "Because I wanted you to know." Minho approached slowly. "Wanted you to understand how thoroughly I researched you before making my decision. This wasn't impulsive. It was calculated, planned. You were chosen specifically, because I'm different." She quoted his note. "Because you need me." Yes. He didn't deny it. "You're not like the women in my world. You're not corrupted yet, not calculating, not playing games. You're honest, real. That's rare. So you chose me because I'm naive." "No." He stopped in front of her. "I chose you because you're strong. You stood up to me in that apartment, negotiated despite having no leverage. That fire, that strength, I need that near me. Need someone who won't just submit blindly. You forced me into marriage. That's the definition of submission. I gave you a choice." His jaw tightened. "An impossible choice, yes, but still a choice. And you made it. You chose your family over yourself. That selflessness, that's another reason I need you. You make me want to be better." Sophia laughed bitterly. "You're a gangster who bought a bride. There's no better version of that." "Maybe not, but with you." His voice dropped. "I want to try, want to be someone you don't hate, someone you might eventually." He trailed off. "Eventually what?" she demanded. "Love? Is that what you want? Some fairy tale where the captive bride falls for her captor?" Minho's eyes held hers. "I want you to choose me, really choose me, not because you're forced, but because you want to." "That's never going to happen," she said it firmly, trying to convince herself. "We'll see." He smiled that sharp, dangerous smile. "I'm very patient when I want something, and I want you, completely. Mind, body, and eventually heart. Let's go. Dinner is waiting." He took her to a private dining room, table set for two, multiple courses prepared by his personal chef. Everything was perfect, too perfect, like a stage set for a romance that didn't exist. They ate in tense silence. Finally, Sophia spoke. "What's your plan here?" "Long term. What do you want from me?" "Company." Minho sipped wine. "Partnership. Someone to share this life with." "Why? You seem perfectly content being alone." "I was content." He set down his glass. "Then I saw you and something changed. I started noticing how empty this penthouse felt, how quiet, how cold. You made me want warmth, want noise, want life. That's not my responsibility. No, but it's my hope." He leaned forward. "I know this situation is wrong. No, I trapped you. But Sophia," his voice roughened, "give me a chance. Give us a chance. Get to know me. Let me know you. Maybe we can build something real from this forced beginning. And if we can't, then I'll let you go." The promise hung between them. Her breath caught. "What? In 1 year? If you still want to leave, if you still hate this, hate me, I'll divorce you. Give you enough money to start over anywhere you want. Your family will remain protected, but you'll be free." "Why would you do that?" "Because forcing you to stay forever isn't winning." Minho's eyes were intense. "I want you to want to be here, and if after a year you don't, then I'll have failed. And I don't deserve to keep you." Sophia studied him, looking for the lie, the trap, but his expression was serious. Open. 1 year? 1 year, he confirmed. Try, really try. Get to know me beyond the monster you think I am. Let me court you properly, win you properly, then decide. Do we have a deal? She should say no. Should tell him no amount of time would change what he'd done, but the promise of eventual freedom was seductive. And maybe, just maybe, she was curious about who Kang Min-ho really was beneath the cold exterior. Deal. She extended her hand. They shook on it. His grip was firm, warm, sent electricity up her arm. Good. Min-ho smiled genuinely this time. Then let's start over. Hello, I'm Kang Min-ho. I'm 38, not 40. Enjoy reading, classical music, and building things. I'm a terrible cook but an excellent dancer, and I'm trying very hard not to completely screw this up. Despite herself, Sophia almost smiled. Hello, I'm Sophia Ade. I'm 18. I want to be a nurse someday. I paint badly and sing worse, and I'm trying very hard not to hate you for forcing this. It's a start. Min-ho raised his glass. To new beginnings, even if they come from terrible circumstances, to new beginnings. She clinked her glass against his. And to 1 year. See what happens. The next few weeks settled into a rhythm. Min-ho left early for business, returned for dinner. They'd talk. Carefully at first. Surface topics, favorite foods, books, movies, slowly building, learning each other. He kept his word about university, enrolled her in nursing courses, part-time, online, gave her space to study, to maintain her own identity separate from being his wife, and he courted her, actually courted her. Flowers appeared regularly, not expensive roses, but wildflowers, sunflowers, things she'd mentioned liking. He bought her art supplies, encouraged her terrible paintings, hung them in his office like they were masterpieces. Small gestures, but they added up. One night, Sophia woke to screaming, Min-ho's screaming. She turned on the lights, found him thrashing in bed, caught in a nightmare, sweat-soaked, face contorted with pain. Min-ho, she shook him. Wake up. His eyes snapped open. For a moment he didn't recognize her, looked ready to strike. Then awareness returned. Sophia. His voice was ragged. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you. Are you okay? What was that? Nothing. He sat up, pulled away from her. Just a dream. Go back to sleep. That wasn't nothing. She touched his shoulder. He flinched. That was a nightmare. A bad one. What happened? I don't want to talk about it. Min-ho stood, started to leave the bedroom, but she caught his wrist. Please, she said softly. Talk to me. You promised we'd try. Really try. This is part of that. Letting me see you. All of you. Not just the parts you think I'll accept. He looked at their joined hands, at her face, something cracked in his expression. I dream about my father, he said finally. About what he did to my mother. To me. What did he do? Sophia's heart ached at the pain in his voice. Terrible things. Min-ho's hands shook. He was a monster. Worse than me. Beat my mother regularly. Beat me when I tried to protect her. Then one day he went too far. She didn't survive, and I was 12 years old watching her die knowing I couldn't save her. Oh, Min-ho. Sophia pulled him close without thinking. I'm so sorry. He resisted at first. Then his arms came around her, held her tight, like she was an anchor in a storm. I swore I'd never be like him. His voice was muffled against her shoulder. Never hurt someone He stopped. Someone I cared about. But I'm his son, have his blood, his violence. What if I can't escape it? What if I become him? You won't. She pulled back, looked him in the eyes. You're not your father. Yes, I forced this marriage. Yes, you trapped me. But you haven't hurt me. Haven't raised a hand to me. You keep your promises, show restraint. That's not who your father was. How do you know? Because a man like your father wouldn't have nightmares about what he did, wouldn't feel guilty, wouldn't be trying to be better. Sophia cupped his face. You're not a monster, Min-ho. You're a man shaped by monsters. There's a difference. He kissed her then. Desperate, seeking comfort. Sophia kissed back, offering what she could. When they broke apart, both were breathing hard. Sorry. Min-ho stepped back. I shouldn't have. It's okay. She touched her lips, surprised by how much she'd wanted it. We're married. Kissing is allowed. Is it? His eyes darkened. Because I've been holding back, trying not to push. But Sophia, his voice dropped. I want to kiss you, want to touch you, want you in every way possible, and it's getting harder to resist. Then don't. The words escaped before she could stop them. Where did they come from? She should want him to resist, should want distance. But something had shifted. Some wall had cracked. Maybe it was seeing his vulnerability. Maybe it was weeks of small kindnesses adding up. Maybe it was just proximity and inevitable attraction. Whatever it was, Sophia found herself wanting to close the distance between them. You don't mean that. Minho's control was visibly fraying. You're saying it because you feel sorry for me. I'm saying it because I'm tired of fighting what I'm feeling. She stepped closer. I hate that you forced this. Hate how we started. But Minho, her hand found his chest. I don't hate you anymore. And I'm tired of pretending I'm not attracted to you. You're attracted to me. He said it like he needed confirmation, like it was impossible. Yes, she admitted. I don't want to be. It makes everything complicated. But I am. His hands spanned her waist, pulled her flesh against him. Tell me to stop. I can't. She fisted her hands in his shirt. I should want you to stop, but I don't. That's all the permission Minho needed. He kissed her deeply, thoroughly. Like he'd been starving and she was sustenance. Sophia melted into it, into him. Her hands moved to his hair, his shoulders, mapping the body she'd been studiously ignoring for weeks. They stumbled back to the bed. Clothes disappeared. His touch was reverent, almost worshipful, like she was precious. Are you sure? He asked when they were both bare, breathing hard. Because once we cross this line… Yes. She pulled him down. I'm sure. Their first time was intense, emotional, more than physical. It was a claiming on both sides, a surrender, a beginning of something neither could define. Afterward, Minho held her close, his heartbeat steady under her ear. That changed everything. He said quietly, I know. Sophia traced patterns on his chest. Does it scare you? Terrifies me, because now I don't just want you, I need you. And needing someone is the most dangerous thing in my world. Welcome to being human. She smiled slightly. We all need people. Not me. Not before you. Minho tilted her face up. But now. His voice roughened. Now I can't imagine going back to how I was before. Empty. Cold. You've ruined me for isolation, Sophia. Completely. Good. She kissed him softly. Because you've ruined me for simple too. I can't go back to being the girl I was. Don't know if I want to. They made love again. Slower this time. Learning each other. Building something that felt dangerously like intimacy. Like connection. Like the beginning of love, even though neither dared say it. The next morning, Minho didn't leave early. They had breakfast together. He touched her constantly. Small gestures. Hand on her waist. Fingers brushing her cheek. Like he needed the physical confirmation she was real. This was real. Minho's phone rang during coffee. His expression changed as he listened. Went cold. Hard. When? Find them. I don't care how. He hung up. Looked at Sophia. We have a problem. What kind of problem? One of my rivals learned about you. About our marriage. His jaw was tight. They're making threats. What kind of threats? To hurt you. To take you. To use you as leverage against me. Fear iced her veins. What do we do? You stay here. Minho stood. I increase security, and I handle this permanently. How? His smile was sharp, dangerous. You don't want to know. Over the next week, the penthouse became a fortress. More guards, cameras, protocols. Sophia wasn't allowed to leave. At first, she chafed against it. Then Minho showed her photographs. Surveillance of her old apartment. Her aunt and uncle's restaurant. Someone had been watching, waiting. The threat was real. I'm sorry, Minho said one night. They sat in the living room. She'd been particularly quiet. This is my fault. My world bleeding into yours. It's not your fault people are insane. No, but it's my fault you're a target. His hands clenched. I should never have married you. Should have found another way to handle your uncle's debt. Now you're in danger because of me. So protect me. Sophia moved to sit beside him. You're good at that. And once this threat is handled, we go back to normal. We figure out this thing between us. What is this thing between us? He asked. Carefully. Like her answer mattered more than anything. I don't know yet, she admitted. But I want to find out. Want to see where it goes, even though it started wrong. Maybe especially because it started wrong. We've already survived the worst. Everything else should be easier, unless something happens to you. Minho caught her hand, brought it to his lips. If they hurt you, if anyone touches you, I'll burn this city down. That's dramatic. It's a promise. His eyes were absolutely serious. You're mine now, Sophia, completely, and I protect what's mine with everything I have. The threat came 3 days later. Sophia was reading in the library when Minho burst in, face dark with rage. Pack a bag. We're leaving. Now. What happened? They found a way into the building, got past first-level security. His hand grabbed her arm, not rough, but urgent. We're going to a safe house until I eliminate this threat completely. But now, Sophia, the command in his voice brooked no argument. They made it to the private elevator, started descending. Then everything went wrong. The elevator jerked, stopped between floors. Emergency lights flickered on. Minho immediately positioned himself between Sophia and the doors, gun appearing in his hand from somewhere. Stay behind me. His voice was deadly calm. Whatever happens, stay behind me. The elevator ceiling access panel exploded inward. 2 men dropped through, armed, professional. Minho moved like lightning. 2 shots, both men dropped, but more were coming, rappelling down the shaft. Get down. He shoved Sophia into the corner, started firing. The sound was deafening in the enclosed space. Blood, shouting, the smell of gunpowder. Sophia pressed herself against the wall, watching Minho fight. He moved with lethal grace, every shot precise, but there were too many. One got through his defense, tackled him. They went down fighting. The man's hands found Minho's throat. Sophia saw red. She grabbed the gun from one of the fallen men, aimed like her uncle had taught her years ago at the shooting range, fired. The shot went wide but close enough. The man flinched. Minho used the distraction, broke the man's grip, snapped his neck with brutal efficiency. More gunfire from above, then silence. Minho's backup had arrived. The cavalry. They extracted them quickly, professionally, got them to a secure vehicle, to a safe house across the city. Sophia couldn't stop shaking. Minho pulled her close in the back seat. You're safe. I've got you. You're safe now. I almost lost you. She couldn't catch her breath. When he tackled you, when his hands, I thought, I know. He held her tighter. I know, but I'm okay. We're both okay. She tried to kill him. The realization hit her. That man. I tried to shoot him. Yes, Minho's voice held something like pride. You protected me. That was incredibly stupid and unbelievably brave. I couldn't let him hurt you. The words tumbled out. I couldn't just watch, couldn't do nothing. So she started crying, reaction setting in. What's wrong with me? Why would I risk my life for you? You've trapped me, forced this marriage. I should want you dead. But when I saw him hurting you, all I could think was no, not him, anyone but him. Because you're falling for me, Minho said quietly, just like I fell for you. And love makes us do incredibly stupid things. Love. She pulled back, looked at him. You think this is love? I know it is. His hand cupped her face. I've never felt this before. This fear, this need, this absolute certainty that losing you would destroy me. That's love, Sophia. Terrifying, consuming, irrational love. I don't want to love you. Tears streaked her face. I tried not to, tried to keep walls up, but somehow you got through anyway. Good. He kissed her desperately. Because I love you, completely, and I need you to survive this. Need you to stay safe so we can figure out what this is, what we are, together. The safe house was smaller than the penthouse, more intimate, just them and 2 guards outside. Minho checked every room, every window, making sure it was secure. Then he pulled Sophia into his arms and just held her. His heart raced against her ear. You scared me. His voice was rough. When you picked up that gun, when you aimed at him, I've never been more terrified in my life. Thought he might shoot you, that I'd lose you because you were trying to save me. I'm sorry. I didn't think. I just reacted. Don't apologize. Minho tilted her face up. You were magnificent, terrifying but magnificent. He kissed her. I love you, Sophia Ade. Love everything about you, your strength, your fire, the way you choose to care about me even when you shouldn't. Say it back. Tell me I'm not alone in this. She looked into his eyes, saw the vulnerability there, the fear. This powerful, dangerous man was scared. Of her rejection, of her. She looked into his eyes, saw the vulnerability there, the fear. This powerful, dangerous man was scared. Of her rejection, of her feelings, of losing what they'd barely started to build. I love you too. The words came easier than she expected. I don't want to. It's completely insane. But I do. I love you, Minho. His kiss was desperate, claiming. They stumbled to the bedroom, made love with urgency born from nearly losing each other, from finally admitting what they felt. Afterward, they lay tangled together, breathing hard. That was different. Sophia traced the scars on his chest, more intense, because now there's no pretending. Minho's hand found hers. No walls, no games, just us, just this. How long do we have to stay here? Until I eliminate the threat, his jaw tightened, which I'm working on. My people are hunting them down. Every single one. And then we go home. Minho pulled her closer, and we start our life properly. No more hiding, no more threats, just us building something real. The next week was strange, isolated but intimate. They couldn't leave the safe house, so they learned each other instead. Minho taught her Korean cooking. She taught him to paint. Badly, but together. They talked for hours, about everything, his childhood, her dreams, the future they might build. Minho took calls constantly, barking orders in Korean, his face hard when discussing business. But with Sophia, he was soft, gentle, a completely different man. She saw both sides now, the monster and the human, and loved them both. One afternoon, Minho's second-in-command visited, a man named Park Tae-hyun, older, scarred. He looked at Sophia with calculating eyes. So this is the wife who's changed everything. Sophia met his gaze. Is there a problem? No problem. Taehyun's smile was thin, just surprised. Minho was never the marrying type. People change. Minho's hand found her waist. Possessive, protective. She changed me. For the better, I hope. The man studied them. Actually, yes. You're less reckless now. More careful. Having something to lose makes you smarter. Exactly. Minho's grip tightened slightly, which is why I need this threat eliminated immediately. We're close, Taehyun assured. 2 more targets, then it's done. Make it 3 days, not a request. It's done in 3 days or I'll finish it myself. After Taehyun left, Sophia asked, Is it always like this? Threats and violence and danger? It used to be. Minho sat heavily, but I'm trying to change that. For you, for us, for the life I want us to have. What life is that? One where I'm not constantly looking over my shoulder, where you're safe, where maybe someday we can have children without worrying they'll be targets. Children. Sophia hadn't thought that far ahead. You want kids? Eventually. His hand found her flat stomach. When we're ready, when the world is safer. But yes, I want a family with you, want everything with you. The admission made her heart race. 2 days later, Minho woke her before dawn. It's done. All of them? Every single one. His smile was sharp, dangerous. We can go home. They returned to the penthouse. It felt different now. Not like a prison, like home. Because Minho was there, because she'd chosen to be there, because love had transformed everything. Life settled into a new rhythm. Minho worked from home more. They had breakfast together every morning, dinner every night. He was teaching her the business, including her in decisions, making her a true partner. One evening, 6 months after the attack, Sophia felt sick, nauseous. Minho noticed immediately. You okay? Just tired, probably fighting something. But the nausea continued. For a week. Finally, Minho insisted she see a doctor. The doctor smiled. Congratulations, Mrs. Kang. You're pregnant. Time stopped. Sophia stared. I'm what? About 2 months along. Everything looks healthy. The doctor showed her the ultrasound. See? That's your baby. Minho's hand found hers, squeezed so tight it almost hurt. We're having a baby. His voice was thick with emotion. We're having a baby. That night, they lay in bed. Minho's hand on her still flat stomach. I'm terrified, he admitted. What if I'm a terrible father? What if I mess them up? You won't. Sophia covered his hand with hers. You'll be wonderful. How do you know? Because you're wonderful with me. Patient, protective, loving. You'll be all those things with our child. He kissed her, long and sweet. I love you so much. Sometimes I can't believe this is real. That you're mine, that we made a life together. I love you too. She smiled against his mouth. Even though you bought me like property, even though you forced me into marriage, even though this started completely wrong, it ended up completely right. The pregnancy was smooth. Min-ho was obsessive, tracking symptoms, reading every book, preparing the nursery himself. He painted the walls with murals, lions and elephants, blending Korean and African imagery. For both sides of their child's heritage. You're nesting, Sophia teased at 7 months, watching him arrange stuffed animals for the 10th time. I'm preparing, he corrected, making sure everything's perfect. It's already perfect. She waddled over, wrapped her arms around him from behind. Because you made it. The labor was long, 18 hours. Min-ho never left her side, held her hand, breathed with her through contractions, told her she was strong, beautiful, that he loved her. When their daughter finally arrived, Min-ho cried, actually cried. She's perfect. He touched her tiny hand with one finger. Look at her. She has your eyes. What should we name her? Sophia was exhausted but happy. We discussed Amara. It means grace in Igbo. Amara Kang. Min-ho studied their daughter. It's perfect. She's perfect. You're perfect. I love you both so much. Life with a baby was chaotic. Beautiful chaos. Min-ho was a devoted father, changed diapers, did midnight feedings, sang Korean lullabies. Sophia fell more in love watching him, this powerful man, reduced to putty by a 7-pound baby. One night, when Amara was 3 months old, they sat on the terrace. The baby asleep in her bassinet between them. The city glowed below. Remember when you hated me? Min-ho asked. When you cried walking down the aisle? Every day. Sophia smiled. And every day I'm grateful you were stubborn enough not to let me go, even when I wanted you to. I was never letting you go. He took her hand. From the moment I saw you, I knew. You were mine, even if I had to force it at first. That's very romantic for a kidnapper, she teased. I prefer arranged marriage enthusiast. He grinned. Sounds better. They sat in comfortable silence, watching their daughter sleep, building a future from impossible beginnings. Years passed in a blur of happiness. Amara grew into a bright, beautiful child. Sophia finished her nursing degree, started working part-time at a children's hospital. Min-ho continued transitioning his business into more legitimate ventures, slowly leaving the criminal world behind. When Amara was 5, they had a son, Jiho, named for brave. He was gentle where Amara was fierce, quiet where she was loud. They complemented each other perfectly. Min-ho was even better as a father the second time, more confident, more present. Sophia watched him play with their children and marveled. This was the monster who'd forced her into marriage, who'd threatened her family, who'd trapped her, and now he was the man she loved most in the world, the father of her children, her partner in everything. How did we get here? She asked one evening. They were having dinner, both kids finally asleep after fighting bedtime. From where we started to hear, love, Min-ho said simply, and choice. You chose to give me a chance, chose to see past what I did to who I was trying to be. That changed everything. You changed everything, Sophia corrected, forced me to face my feelings, pushed me when I wanted to run, loved me even when I didn't deserve it. We saved each other. He stood, pulled her up, kissed her deeply. That's what the best love stories do. On their 10th anniversary, Min-ho planned something special. Took Sophia back to where it started, her uncle's old restaurant, long since sold, now a cafe, but still there. Remember this place? How could I forget? She smiled. This is where you bought me, where you became mine, he corrected. Best decision I ever made. Even if my methods were questionable, your methods were terrible. She laughed, but the result was worth it. He pulled out a box. What's this? Open it. Inside was a new ring. Beautiful but simple, elegant. What's wrong with my wedding ring? Nothing. But I want to give you something that represents choice. Min-ho took her hand. 10 years ago, I forced you to marry me. Today I'm asking. Sophia Ade Kang, will you marry me again? This time freely, this time for love. Tears streamed down her face. You're proposing? I'm asking you to choose me, like I choose you every day. Marry me again, Sophia, with joy instead of tears. Yes. She could barely speak. Yes, always yes. They renewed their vows surrounded by family. Amara and Jiho stood with them, Sophia's aunt and uncle, Minho's associates who'd become friends. It was everything their first wedding wasn't: joyful, celebratory, full of love. When Minho kissed her, Sophia tasted a decade of choosing each other, of building something beautiful from broken pieces. The party lasted into the night. Their children danced, friends toasted. Stories were told about the unlikely couple who'd fallen in love against all odds. That night in bed, Minho pulled Sophia close. "Thank you for 10 years. Thank you for loving me, for giving me everything I didn't know I needed. Thank you for forcing me into the best decision of my life." She kissed him. "Even if I fought it every step, made me work for every smile, every kind word." Minho's hand traced her face, "Made me a better man. The best version of myself. That's what love does." Sophia settled against his chest. "Changes us, challenges us, makes us better than we were." More years passed in comfortable happiness. Amara grew into a confident teenager, smart, artistic, kind. She had Sophia's heart and Minho's determination. Boys started noticing. Minho aged 10 years every time she mentioned a classmate. "He's just a friend, Appa." Amara would roll her eyes. "Stop being dramatic. I don't trust teenage boys." Minho grumbled. "I was a teenage boy once." "Exactly." Sophia patted his arm. "Which is why you're so paranoid." Jiho became thoughtful and gentle. Loved books, loved music, protected his sister despite being younger. The siblings were close. Minho and Sophia watched them grow with pride and wonder. "We made good humans," Sophia said one evening. They were on the terrace, their spot, watching the sunset. "We did," Minho agreed. "They're better than both of us combined." When Amara turned 18, Minho gave a speech at her party. "My daughter is the same age her mother was when we married." He looked at Sophia, his eyes soft, and I'm struck by how young that was. How much courage it took for Sophia to choose life, to choose us, to build this family from impossible circumstances. "Appa, you're going to make me cry." Amara hugged him. "But thank you for loving Ioma, for showing me what a good man looks like, for teaching me never to settle. You deserve everything." Minho's voice was thick. "And anyone who wants to date you better understand that." "Great." Amara laughed. "You've successfully scared away every boy and soul." "Good, that was the plan." Later that night, Sophia found Minho in Amara's old playroom, looking at photos from when she was small. "Missing her already? She's not even gone yet." "I know. But she's 18 now, an adult. Soon she'll leave for university, build her own life, and we'll just be us again." "Is that bad?" Sophia wrapped her arms around him from behind. "No." His hands covered hers. "Just different. We've spent 20 years being parents. I'm not sure I remember how to just be your husband." "You'll remember." She kissed his shoulder. "We'll remember together." Years continued to pass. Amara went to university, fell in love with a good man who treated her like she was precious. Minho did extensive background checks, approved grudgingly, walked her down the aisle with tears in his eyes. "You're giving away your baby girl." Sophia teased at the reception. "I know." Minho watched Amara dance with her new husband. When did she grow up? Gradually, then suddenly. Just like everything important. Jiho graduated, became a doctor, made them proud beyond measure. Found love with a sweet woman who loved his gentle soul. On their 30th anniversary, Minho and Sophia sat in their home. The penthouse long since sold for something warmer, more lived in. Their children visited often. Grandchildren filled holidays with noise and joy. 30 years, Sophia marveled. "More than half my life with you. Best years of my life." Minho pulled her close. "Every single one, even the hard ones at the beginning, especially those." She agreed, "because they made everything else possible, taught us how to fight for each other, how to choose each other even when it was difficult." They sat in comfortable silence, watching the sun set over Seoul, the city where they'd met, where they'd fought, where they'd fallen in love, where they'd built a life that had once seemed impossible. "I love you," Minho said quietly. "More now than the day we married, more tomorrow than today. I love you too." Sophia leaned into him. "My impossible husband, who bought me like property and somehow convinced me to stay. I'm very persuasive." He smiled. "And very lucky, the luckiest," she corrected. "Because I got you too, got this life, this family, this love. More years passed in contentment. They grew older together, gray hair and wisdom lines, slower but no less in love. Their children thrived. Grandchildren brought new joy, great-grandchildren eventually, a legacy of love built from the darkest beginning. One afternoon when Minho was 82 and Sophia was 60, he found her in their garden, painting, still terrible at it, still trying. He watched from the doorway, just loving her, knowing how precious every moment was. "You're staring," she said without turning. "Can't help it. You're beautiful when you're concentrating." Minho sat beside her. "Have been for 44 years. 44 years." She set down her brush, turned to him. "That's longer than most people dream of. And still not enough." He caught her paint-stained hand, brought it to his lips. "I want 44 more." That night, Minho's breathing changed. Sophia woke to find him watching her in the darkness. His hand found hers. Warm, steady. "Thank you." His voice was soft. "For choosing me when you had every reason not to. For teaching me what it means to be human. For 44 years of impossible happiness." "Minho," she held him tighter. "Don't, not yet. I'm not afraid." He smiled. "How could I be? I'm the luckiest man who ever lived. I got to love you." His eyes closed, his grip loosened, and Sophia held him as his breathing slowed, stopped. She didn't cry at first, just held him, memorizing the weight of him, the warmth fading. The man who'd bought her like property and loved her like she was the only thing that mattered. The man who'd forced her into marriage and spent 4 decades proving it was the best decision either of them ever made. The funeral was beautiful. Their children spoke about the father who'd taught them what real love looked like, about a man who'd transformed from monster to human through the power of choosing someone every single day. Grandchildren told stories, friends shared memories, and Sophia sat surrounded by the life they'd built, the legacy of love that would outlast them both. Alone in their home that night, Sophia walked through rooms full of memories. She touched the painting Minho had hung in his office, her terrible first attempt, still there after all these years. She stood in the garden where he'd proposed the second time, where he'd asked her to choose him freely, and she felt him, his presence, his love, still there, always there. "I chose you," she whispered to the night. "Every day for 44 years I chose you, and I'd choose you again, in every lifetime, every version of this story. I'd always choose you." 2 years later, Sophia passed peacefully in her sleep, surrounded by family. Her last words were his name. Amara held her hand. "It's okay, Ioma, you can rest now. He's waiting." Sophia smiled, saw Minho young and whole and reaching for her. "I'm coming," she breathed. Then she was gone. At her funeral, Amara spoke through tears about a love that had defied every rule, every expectation, every limitation. "My mother was 18 when she married a man she didn't choose." Amara's voice carried across the gathering. She cried, walking down that aisle, terrified, trapped, ready to hate him forever. She paused, but somewhere between force and choice, between fear and love, between that first tear and the last smile, they built something impossible, something beautiful, something that proved love doesn't always start with flowers and poetry. Sometimes it starts with tears and contracts. Sometimes it starts wrong and becomes so completely right that you can't imagine it any other way. The family continued, carried on their legacy, taught new generations about the love that transformed everything. And in their garden, a stone was placed, simple, elegant, perfect. Here rest Kang Minho and Sophia, together forever as they were in life. He bought her. She freed him. They saved each other. 44 years of impossible love, and somewhere beyond, in whatever comes after, Minho and Sophia found each other again, young, whole, free, hands clasped, hearts joined, beginning again. Because some loves are too strong to be contained by one lifetime, some stories too beautiful to ever truly end, some bonds forged in darkness that become unbreakable light. Theirs was all three. A love story that started with an 18-year-old girl crying helplessly on her wedding day. That grew through an impossible year of learning each other. That bloomed when she finally said "I love you" and meant it. That deepened through children and grandchildren and a lifetime of choosing each other. From forced to chosen, from trapped to free, from monster to man, from fear to love. They'd rewritten every rule, broken every expectation, proved that sometimes the worst beginnings lead to the most beautiful endings. That sometimes the person who takes your freedom is the same person who teaches you what freedom really means. That love doesn't always arrive wrapped in pretty packages. Sometimes it arrives in threats and contracts, and transforms into something so profound that 44 years feels simultaneously like forever and not nearly long enough. Minho had walked into that apartment looking for payment. He'd found his salvation. Sophia had walked down that aisle ready to hate him. She'd found her home, and together they'd built a life that proved love's greatest power isn't in how it begins, but in what we choose to build from impossible circumstances, in how we transform darkness into light, fear into devotion, force into the most profound choice either of them ever made. Their fairy tale started wrong, ended perfect, proved that sometimes you have to be broken open before you can be whole, that sometimes the cage becomes the key, that sometimes forced becomes the most free you've ever been, because real love isn't about perfect beginnings. It's about imperfect people choosing each other, again and again, through fear and joy, through tears and laughter, through forced and free, until forced and free become the same thing, until there's no difference between the cage and the key, until you can't remember what it felt like before them, can only imagine forever with them. That was